We often believe that the weight of our words lies in the volume of what we say, but true spirituality teaches us that real power resides in the vibration we carry in silence. I am going to show you how to transform your communication into a gateway of clarity and lightness in less than 12 minutes. If you don't learn to master the geometry of your speech now, you will continue to build invisible walls that isolate you from those you love most, turning bridges into abysses. With over 40 years dedicated to sensitive listening and the art of expression, I have come to understand that the word is sacred ground that demands presence, not haste. Many think that being silent is a form of omission, but in truth, conscious silence is the most powerful tool to neutralize the noise of the ego and awaken consciousness. By the end of this session, you will have a 3-minute practice to apply in your daily life and change the frequency of all your encounters. Imagine communication as a living road. In personal development, this path can lead us to a meeting with another or to a head-on collision. When we speak without ethical direction, we are driving against the flow of respect. Here, Stoicism reminds us that we do not control what others hear, but we have absolute mastery over the intention we release into the world. If our speech is born of impulse, it becomes an emotional accident that generates wounds and isolation. In the African concept of Ubuntu, we understand that I am because we are. Therefore, an aggressive word does not only hurt the other person, but fragments our own soul. Spiritual awakening begins when we realize that every phrase spoken is a brick in the construction of our inner reality. If the road is blocked by disrespect, the journey becomes a lonely one. The invitation today is for you to observe. Are your words paving paths of unity or raising barriers of exclusion? But to walk safely on this road, it is not enough to simply watch the destination. It is necessary to silence the noisy engine trying to take control of our journey, our own ego. There is a modern illusion that winning an argument through volume is a sign of strength. However, the need to win by shouting is merely an escape from our essential self. The mage knows that true power is not found in noise, but in the fertile void of listening. By swapping haste for presence, we allow silence to open paths that insistence could never reach. Epictetus, the Stoic master, said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This proportion is a law of nature. When you silence the ego, you finally manage to hear what the other person's soul is whispering. It is in this space of listening that African wisdom manifests, valuing orality as an act of life transmission, where those who listen with the heart become guardians of the truth. And it is precisely when this ego falls silent that we begin to see the invisible lines we draw around ourselves, the geometric shapes of an isolation we projected ourselves. Often, we use speech as a defensive tool. We create an unconscious geometry of judgment that separates us from them. These are the invisible walls built by the ego to avoid real contact with the world. In Jungian psychology, this projected judgment is often the shadow we do not want to see in ourselves. The awakening of consciousness requires us to identify these patterns of exclusion. The question that remains in the air is, are you using your voice to illuminate the truth or to hide behind absolute certainties? Remember the metaphor of the vase. It is only useful because it has an empty space in its center. If we are full of judgments and rigid concepts, there is no room for life to flow. Rigidity is the prelude to breaking. Fluidity is the path to healing. Once we identify these walls of judgment, we realize that the same material used to build walls can be transformed into bridges, sacred paths where truth circulates again with ethics and clarity. Communication is a sacred act. When the word circulates, it carries a deep ethical responsibility regarding those who receive it. In Stoicism, we learn to seek clarity and limits, not as restriction, but as fertile ground for virtue. Treating speech as something trivial is to dishonor existence itself. For African philosophy, the word, the nommo, is the vital force that activates creation. If you speak with truth, you create worlds of harmony. If you speak with deceit, you sow chaos in everyday life. Being a bridge of truth means that your presence is consistent with what vibrates in your heart. It's not about being perfect, but about being authentic. Your word has the power to be a medicine or a poison. Which of these frequencies do you choose to feed today? However, a bridge is only safe if its foundation is invisible and firm. In the same way, the truth of the word depends entirely on the invisible substance that sustains it, the vibration of the feeling that gives it birth. Words are merely vehicles. The engine is the feeling that carries them. If you say, "I love you," with bitterness in your heart, the vibration that reaches the other person is that of pain, not affection. The awareness of this emotional weight makes life lighter and the journey more authentic. The universe listens to you when you learn to listen to yourself. Watching your vibration is a continuous exercise in self-knowledge. Like a seed blooming in the darkness of the earth, your inner transformation happens in the silence of your self-observation. When we align what we feel with what we express, we enter the flow of the Tao, the path of non-resistance. Your biology responds to this harmony. Your soul finds rest in the fertile void of presence. We have reached the closing gateway of this journey. Healing and expansion are possible when we stop fighting what we feel and start honoring our inner voice. As this video ends, say nothing for the next 60 seconds. Just observe the vibration in the center of your chest. Imagine that every word you say today will come out dipped in an amber light of compassion and clarity. What if the peace you seek so much is hidden precisely in that word you chose not to say? If these words touched something inside you, perhaps it is time to take one more step on this path of reconnecting with your inner truth. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep receiving content that nourishes the soul with presence and authenticity. Share in the comments what resonated with your heart. Your story might be the mirror someone else needed to find. If you are looking for a safe haven, know that our community is the sanctuary where fertile silence is shared and deepened. Check out the channel's posts and, to continue expanding this field of presence, we suggest the video pinned in the card. May it be a source of inspiration on your journey. Peace and light.